What's up, everyone? Welcome to the October 22nd edition of the NBA Injury Report. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And we're going to take a look at the pending injury news for tonight's 8-game NBA slate. But first, we do have our best NBA promo of the year running right now. Use promo code HARDWOOD, sign up and get 10 days of Stokastic Plus Platinum for just $10. That'll give you access to everything behind the paywall, including our new lineup generator, which is a quick, easy, efficient way to make quality lineups for whatever type of NBA DFS contest you are looking to play. So that's promo code HARDWOOD. Use it and get 10 days of Stokastic Plus Platinum for just $10. Now, we don't have much pending injury news today. We do have some players that have already been ruled out. But as far as questionable players go, we're really just looking at Jalen Smith from the Indiana Pacers. He was questionable yesterday as well. I talked about him there. Then he started, barely played, got hurt again with a different injury. Questionable to play today. So even if he does go, he is a volatile option because Indiana is not playing for anything, and Rick Carlisle has already said as much. You're just going to see confusing, inefficient rotations from that front court, I think, going forward. But if he sits, it does certainly open up minutes and some stability for guys like Isaiah Jackson and Goga Bitadze. Both of them are good point per minute producers. Jackson last year averaged 1.16 DraftKings points per minute. Bitadze averaged 1.05 DraftKings points per minute. We saw Bitadze start the second half in place of Jalen Smith, even before Smith was injured yesterday. So my guess is that you would get Bitadze out there as the starter if Smith doesn't play. Total guess could be Isaiah Jackson. Again, it's Indiana. It doesn't matter. They can start a point guard at center. It really doesn't matter to them. But my guess is that it would be Goga Bitadze. Whoever starts, if Smith is out, or even if Smith is in for this conversation, whoever starts is going to be the one that I think you are the most confident in their minutes, but you still can't be that confident for the same reasons that I was saying. So certainly pay attention to ownership as well. If you really see ownership get steamed on Goga because he's starting, it can still be a good spot to take some chances on Isaiah Jackson off the bench and just hope that he ends up running into more minutes than Bitadze. And then the other really big piece of injury news we're waiting on, Dillon Brooks is questionable for Memphis. He sat out the first two games of the season for the Grizzlies, and this affects a ton. First of all, you've had John Conchar starting for the Grizzlies. He's been a serviceable DFS option. He most likely goes back to the bench if Brooks returns and starts, so that's going to make him a lot less appealing. But also, two of the main pieces from the Grizzlies, Ja Morant last season with Dillon Brooks on the floor averaged 1.31 DraftKings points per minute with a 29.1% usage rate. That's obviously still really good. You can still look to Morant if Brooks is in, but compare that to 1.46 DraftKings points per minute and a 37% usage rate without Brooks on the floor. And you can see what a massive difference it's made for Ja Morant when he's out. And then similarly with Desmond Bane, there hasn't been a big difference in per minute production as he's averaged 1.04 DraftKings points per minute with Brooks on and 1.03 DraftKings points per minute with him off. But Bane has a 20.6% usage rate when he's played alongside Dillon Brooks compared to 24.1% without Brooks. It's still beneficial for Bane as the sample grows, as the sample gets larger. You expect it to be beneficial for Bane to play without Brooks. So if Brooks is in, downgrade Conchar, downgrade Morant, downgrade Bane. Not to say you can't play any of those guys, particularly Morant and Bane would still look fine, but they look better for sure if Dillon Brooks is out. So to recap, the two big pieces of injury news that we are still waiting on, Jalen Smith, questionable for Indiana. Potential beneficiaries are Goga Bitadze and Isaiah Jackson. And Dillon Brooks, questionable for Memphis. If he returns, it most likely takes John Conchar out of the lineup, and it also should lower our projections on Ja Morant and Desmond Bane in particular.